That time again, isn't it? Where I need to do a little update, a little preview of the madness that is being the subject of this global social engineering and intelligence operation, aka the program, where a conglomerate of states and their intelligence agencies seemingly just conduct an endless pretext of a war against me. And I say it's a pretext because they're just using the situation that they are continuously carrying on through all of these years, more than a decade, or more or less 15 years soon. They're just carrying on the situation endlessly because that's what gives them the grounds for having this social engineering and intelligence operation running. And so I'm in a position to give you a perspective of this situation from being the so-called protagonist, which they base all of their fucking bullshit and nonsense propaganda on, and literally run never-ending psyops and propaganda campaigns against, without me having any real involvement in it whatsoever. And it's come so far now that they are creating these virtual movie fabrications, these propaganda campaigns, visual content, and they're literally just claiming that it's my dreams, or it's my thoughts, or it's my memory that they are just recreating in a virtual movie form. And this is something that is being so accepted now by the government and by a considerable amount of people that this is just what is being said. So they can claim and say whatever they want and just make virtual movie fabrications and run endless psyops, and that being the same as something actually transpiring in reality. It's kind of this thing that they are doing to substantiate their never-ending claims of me supposedly constantly committing sex crimes, is simply by using their technological capabilities, i.e. The most predominantly used is this synthetic telepathy, a electromagnetic signal that is being sent, broadcasted, which can be interpreted by people in my vicinity, or generally people can be receiving this in a much broader scale as well. And it's sound without being sound, so they're just communicating to the people around me through synthetic telepathy. And in these communications, they are literally just labeling me guilty of having committed a sex crime, or if I walk past some children, they're going to say that I have some untowards intentions, or that I'm on the verge of committing some kind of crime. And that's literally all they're going to do. Nothing ever happens, nothing ever has happened, and nothing ever will happen, but they're just claiming it through this synthetic telepathy to people in my whereabouts. And they are doubling down on those kinds of allegations if there is, for example, kids around me, or if I'm training and there is only one female on the training team, they will say that I'm endlessly watching or doing something untowards to the female person in the training. This is the kind of thing that they do. Or I say a female, it doesn't even have to be a female. They will kind of say these things no matter who it is, no matter the sex or the age of the person. It's just something that they do, and they're doing it constantly. And the hatred towards me is just endlessly doubling down, especially when people are seeing that I'm succeeding in the things that I'm setting out to do. For example, getting a motorbike license. That happened as soon as I set my mind to it. Then I set my mind to getting a motorbike, and they did everything to stop me from getting a motorbike, including prohibiting the bank from loaning me money. So I had to buy an older motorbike outright, and which is something that they're going to try to repossess on the basis that I have a student loan. So they are literally doing everything that they can to sabotage my life in every aspect, and they are literally using every means available to them, no matter how dirty a trick or how corrupt or fraudulent what they're doing is. They would do it. For example, something else that they do, which is completely ridiculous, is claim that I'm some kind of Russian and I'm a collaborator with the Russians and I think the war is a good thing. They're literally just claiming these things using the sentiment and the feeling that people have against Russia for invading Ukraine, and using those emotions and feelings that people rightfully have against me. That's why they're always claiming that I'm that I'm Putin, or a collaborator or a sympathizer or whatever. It's literally to misuse the people's emotions and feelings towards something genuine and transfer it over onto me. That is what they're doing constantly, and that is why they're always labeling me guilty for the most heinous of things that people really can't stand. For example, being a sex offender, despite I have never committed a sex crime in my life. My records prove that, and there is no evidence to the contrary. There's only propaganda and psyops, and yet that's something that just continues and continues and continues because of the success the states are having in claiming whatever they want on, well, whatever basis that is non-existent, just by creating endless propaganda and repeating it and repeating and repeating it until some people, a considerable amount of percentage of the population just goes along with it, because that is, after all, much easier.